Can U.S. Senate Republicans save President Trump's tax cuts? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Republicans and the nation need what President Trump has dubbed a big, beautiful tax cut bill. Otherwise, we're headed for a recession, and the GOP a big setback in next year's congressional elections. Unfortunately, that lovely tax legislation is in trouble. Thanks to rules Congress has imposed on itself, passing a tax bill is a convoluted process. To get around a Senate filibuster, Republicans in both the House of Representatives and the Senate must unite to pass a fiscal framework bill that covers overall taxes and spending. Then the budget committees fill in the details. After that, a single bill is put together and goes for a vote. The trouble is, the approach the House Republicans are taking jeopardizes the chances of tax cuts that would fire up the economy. They want to tie the size of tax cuts to a specific level of spending cuts. The way Republican members have done this, however, will seriously restrict the ability to reduce the size of those tax reductions. The GOP senators want to do more tax cutting and not bind themselves to a high level of spending decreases, leaving that for later. The senators have it right. There's no need to water down tax cuts. What Elon Musk and his Muscovites are doing will result in significant future savings in government spending. Should it cost, for example, $892 million for a simple survey that would have tourists rate a visit to our national parks by checking off a few boxes, when in the private sector the process could be done for $10,000? The senators are being criticized for kicking the spending cut can down the road. The critics are wrong and the senators right in pursuing a fiscal framework with room for higher tax cuts than those contained in the 2017 legislation. Bigger tax cuts mean a bigger economy, which means more government revenue. In fact, what is particularly preposterous is calculating future revenues assuming a low rate of economic growth. The House GOP thought it was bold in projecting an annual level of 2.6%. That is indeed better than the usual 1.8% the Congressional Budget Office assumes. But historically, the U.S. average is well above 3%. Such a seemingly small difference actually compounds into trillions of dollars. A really strange phenomenon is the Republican allergy to reducing the capital gains tax. Doing so would both help investment and instantly raise revenue. The White House is not helping its beautiful tax cut goal by floating anti-growth nonsense notions like raising tax rates on high-income earners, which would smack hundreds of thousands of small to mid-sized businesses whose profits are taxed at personal rates. The White House is also hurting itself by not having a strong, coordinated effort to sell its tax plan, a vivid contrast to what it did to pass the 2017 Trump tax cut bill. Shockingly, most Americans don't realize that most provisions in the bill expire at year's end, which means if that law is not renewed, the typical household will face a tax increase of $3,000. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.